Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair, and I am back with another video. So we're about 48 hours away from E3. There's been some late breaking developments. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Microsoft ad, Feel True Power. I think that's actually a pretty funny ad because within that ad, it's almost like a movie ad because it's similar to the Microsoft ad is similar to what you would see in a movie, like like a Marvel movie or a DC movie, and it's got little hidden messages and hidden meanings in it, possibly possibly a release date, which is looking like mid-October. So shout out to me, because I did predict mid-October. So let's I'll pat myself on the back for that one. A possible price of $3.99, which I think would be really good if you're looking to get into that ecosystem and not have, and you already have a 4K TV. Let's see here. I think they had like a tent in the background where it says six equals more than 4.22, which is a clear shot at the PS4 Pro. So give Microsoft credit. They are trying. They're going to have to go this route. I think now you can see why they're talking more about power than the games, because they don't have a whole lot of marketing deals. They do have their marketing deals. Like I said, I think Assassin's Creed, they've got that one. I think they got a soft one with Assassin's Creed, and they got a one with Madden. They're one with Madden. They did lose FIFA. That did get confirmed about 48 hours ago. They lost to FIFA. And they've lost a bunch of them to Sony, but it is what it is. Microsoft's going in their own direction. I do think they're going to announce a deal with Sega, a partnership maybe to bring some of the Sega games over. So have to wait and see, but that will cure the ills of no JRPGs and things like that. And Sega does have some good games on there. So, but moving forward, what's up to everybody out there in the chat? But moving forward, GameSpot, and the link is in the description. GameSpot has the list of confirmed PS4 games that are going to be at E3. Now, that doesn't mean these are all the games that are going to be on stage, but at E3, playable in some form. So at one of the booths or things like that. Everybody knows Sony also has a 10 to 12 hour live stream of nothing but games. I don't know how that's going to work either. You may have to have a PlayStation to watch that. I don't know if that's going to be streamed on YouTube as well. I'll try to get back with you guys on that. But they got a ton of confirmed games, everything from Ace Combat, which I had forgotten about. That was shown at PSX. But Ace Combat to, Days Gone to Final Fantasy VII, all that is supposed to be at E3. Again, I'm not saying this will be on stage, but they've got a crap ton of games to show. It's already been said by Sony executives that they're going to spend maybe anywhere from maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes literally talking. And they're just going to show game after game after game after game. So that's what their press conference is setting up to be. You have to wait and see. Nintendo, you can literally now expect some type of Metroid announcement, whether it's a reboot or a new franchise. I think you may get two. You may get one that is a reboot of an old one, and then you may get another one that's a brand new IP as far as a new Metroid. Hope so, and let's keep our fingers crossed up for me with Donkey Kong. I hope they announce something with that. Probably gameplay of the Mario open world game too. Have to see how that's going to go. It's been confirmed that there is no augmented reality or VR for Xbox Scorpio at this press conference. Look for them to, I don't know if you'll see that at Gamescom or something like that. They may move that to another event because that's more one-on-one stuff. So that's confirmed by Forbes, and several other sites are confirming this. So that saves more time for games, and let's see what Microsoft has in the game department. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, $3.99 price. It's possible. It could be two SKUs, but we'll have to wait and see. Moving on. Forbes has a good article you guys need to check out called "Does Sony Cheat to Win?" Which I don't know how you win or lose E3, but so it basically is the complaint of Sony showing games 2-3 years out and then declaring that they won E3 because they are showing you games out. Where Microsoft used to do this, they are allegedly moving away from this now. Allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not. Got to wait and see if it's true. But yeah, they allegedly, and this is on Forbes, people are complaining that Sony goes ahead and shows a bunch of games and things like that, and then they don't, they don't have any gameplay. They just show you a trailer, and then, that's it. They don't, so, but needless to say, that's what it is. Also, Microsoft is, they are going to add another gig of RAM. Looks like they're going to have 9 gigs of RAM for gaming. And that's, I don't know what that's going to add. I don't know if that's going to help with their bottleneck. They're having major bottleneck issues with that Scorpio. And it's because the developers do not want to spend the extra time and treasure developing for a console that has 0 sale base. But good article on Forbes.com. The link is in the description down there. It's a really good article. So, but then shout out to everybody in the chat. What's everybody doing today? I had a day off, so I'm doing this one. Something quick and painless here. Finally, Digital Foundry and Eurogamer has confirmed that PS4, the PS4 game Wipeout, the new one that's coming out, is a 4K native 60. So, and it also with this game, what's up, John S? With this game, they've got a 4K native mode on there, and they've got a 4K checkerboard mode. So they can actually get things. The people who want to truly see the difference in a 4K native game and a 4K checkerboarded game, you can actually see it on this game if you want to. And then you can ask yourself, is it that much of a difference? And this is something that you guys can do. The game is $39.99, so it's not, it's not a it's not a huge ask to go ahead and look at it. That way you don't have to listen to the people in the chat section. You don't have to keep going to see, me or listening to me saying 2160p is 2160p. You can just do it yourself. Pay $40, get your education. So I personally already know there's not that much of a difference. Shout out to Fonz on also known as Everything According to Me. Shout out to him on 60 Frames No Lag and Pull the Rock and everybody that was there yesterday. Jay Barry was on there, and Fonz, even he's a big tech guy, and he said that, and I'm telling you the same thing. A 4K native game is going to be sharper, and that's it. As far as so the draw distances are going to look a little bit better. Where the sun looks extremely vibrant and bright on a native picture, it will still look vibrant and bright in a checkerboarded picture. But if you pan the camera around, if you're playing Elite Dangerous and it's checkerboarded, when you come up to some of those suns, you have white suns, blue suns, it's going to look a little bit blurry when you pan your. That's just the way it is because it's got motion blur on it. You can turn motion blur off on this 4K Wipeout game and get a native 4K effect. And it's been confirmed by Digital Foundry. So this is a chance for everybody to go and find out themselves. So, so yeah, Born to Tease. Yeah, 9 gigs of RAM for games. That's maybe that'll help with the bottleneck. I don't know. I'm not for sure because it just got confirmed about 12 hours ago, give or take. So, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't, what games they're going to have and things like that. But this has been confirmed by the whole Wipeout thing, again, confirmed by Digital Foundry and Eurogamer. So it's all been double confirmed that this game is a 4K native. So when you, and I'm going to give everybody some advice here about how to really stay out of these crumb side arguments. I mean, first of all, don't make any comments at all. But if you do, if somebody says that 4K native is being done on the Scorpio, and this is it. I'm not saying that you guys are crumb sided at all, but I have seen some people get in chat rooms and go back and forth and get. I mean, it's easy to go on the crumb side. So it's with 9 gigs of RAM, the Steam games of Scorpio will look amazing. It might, yeah. We have to wait and see. And there may be something to that. And shout out to J-Dub. He sent me a direct message on something yesterday. And I've just been so busy, I haven't been able to look at it. But big shout out to him. And what's up going on there, Obi John? How you doing, brother? So yeah, they've but this is a chance for you all not to listen to me at all. At all. I don't want you to. If you've got a pro, you can actually download this game for $40 and you can look at this yourself. So, and again, if you turn motion blur on with this game, it gives you a 4K checkerboarded look. It's still 60 frames. But let me get back to what I was saying, because I did lose my train of thought. I was looking at the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. To stay away from this crumb side stuff, simply say Sony is doing 4K native games at 4.2 T-flops. That's a fact. There's a big list of games that are 4K native. What are their 4K native? 60, 4K native 30, doesn't matter. They're 4K native. Now, simply tell them, gee whiz, I certainly hope Microsoft can do 4K with 6 T-flops of power. That's it. And it's, you know, and you ended, you did the conversation right there. Hey, look, this taking them to do 6 to do what Sony does with 4. What if Sony does 8 to 10? Okay, and there's a reason why that extra a little bit of gig got let out by Microsoft. I think Sony is going to release a PlayStation. I think Sony's going to have something at the close of their press conference that says how they're going to support consoles going into the future, and they look forward to bringing everybody more consoles later on. Blah blah blah. I.e., wink wink nod nod. PS5. And so not that they're going to officially announce a PS5. They can allude to they're going to probably do one, but not actually undercut what they got out right now. But apparently Digital Foundry's really blown away by this game, Wipeout, and it's $39.99. So I'm recommending that for all you numbnuts that literally are saying there's a huge difference in checkerboarding 4K and native 4K, because now you have a game that does both. So now you could see Bungie seems to think RAM is important. All right, well, there you go. I mean, I'm not here to say that they're not. I mean, I know that they are under a lot of pressure to get all their games to be 4K 60. So, and maybe that's why Bungie couldn't announce what it was on the Scorpio, because and this is coming from Born to Tease. So that very well could be true. I mean, again, to me, it's a console. I don't care that it's running 4K 60 or checkerboarded up to 30. I just, if you are really wanting something open frame, just get a PC. I mean, I've said that for about a year now. But again, if you already have a 4K TV and it does HDR, 10-bit panel, all that kind of stuff, and you can get a Scorpio at $399 and you trade something in on it, you may have to, and you want to get into that ecosystem, or that's what you already have, So yeah, I mean, then you may want to pull the trigger. I said this the other day that the people who don't have 4K TVs, again, for a 4K TV that's not even a great one, you're looking at $400. Okay, for that one, I'm talking about one that's not a great one. So and ones that are decent, you're looking at $500 to $550. So you got to figure all this. And again, you're looking at an $800 investment. And you all have to decide as consumers what you want to buy. So also a possible price drop for the Pro if they do launch at $399. If they launch at $399, a lot of people are going to go out and buy that thing. So we'll just have to wait and see. So the Xbox One, yeah, but Guardian Legends, the Xbox Scorpio is what? Like 5 times more powerful. So, I mean, look, if Sony's doing 4K native gaming with 4.2, Microsoft's going to be able to do it with, the problem is that they're not going to have a ton of first-party games. Not compare, I take that back, not compared to Nintendo and Sony. That is the issue. That's why they're emphasizing third-party games. That's why I've not heard as much bullshit as Phil Spencer and Albert Purnell on them talk online. They've consistently said it's the best place to play what? Multi-plat titles. So not first party. They've not said anything about that. So, and the reason why is because they're not going to concentrate on that. It's not that they're not going to have the games for it, but their ecosystem didn't rock out. The people in that ecosystem did not support those games for whatever reason. And if you believe Halo Storm, he said that's because Sony, you know, like the Sony, and I brought this up, shout out to Porter Rock. He made a good point yesterday when he said, yeah, like all these Sony people went out and hacked their bank accounts and stopped them from buying the games. No, they're under the impression that because Microsoft does it, it's the right thing to do. So it just doesn't matter. They don't care about price point. They don't care about the ecosystem. All they care about is we got outsold because of marketing, period. And shout out to Cycle Gamer, but that's what he said in a chat room yesterday. I about dropped my coffee when he said that. So, and it really surprised me, but it kind of shows you where they are at a mental capacity. And I had somebody direct message me yesterday, said, look, these guys actually feel oppressed. They literally feel oppressed. I mean, the Sony what they did to them psychologically is really bad. That's what I'm saying. You got to stay away from the crumb side stuff, guys. And look, I got caught up in it too. I'm asking you guys to try not to get stuck in it. So just if they come out saying, yeah, we have more power, to say, yeah, well, we can do 4K native gaming if we want. And if they say, well, we have more 4K native games, like, yeah, you do. Just dead the conversation right then and there. Just dead the conversation. So, you know, so they moved to so Sony may announce I don't think Sony's going to do anything. This is my opinion. And Savage Uger, that's a good point. I just don't think that they are going to do anything to give Scorpio any kind of life. As soon as Sony starts talking about we're going to do this and open up this for more power, that plays into Microsoft's hands. What you want to do is just show so much stuff that people get tired of clapping. You know, people's main complaint about Sony right now, if you're in that ecosystem, is there's too much shit to play. I mean, that's a complaint. People are literally complaining about that. So you know, again, that's why I did that video when I called BS on them, because they were the ones running around saying it's all about the games. Okay, fine, but it never was about the games. They're a bunch of liars. So I'm just simply saying to you guys, try not to get caught up in it. That's all I'm asking, you know. So you know, that's it. But everybody's a grown-ass man or woman. If you want to go on that side, you can. But you know, it's not worth your time. You know, Sony's going to have way too much for everybody to do. You got big games coming in August. Like I said, Hellblade, I believe, releasing in August. The Uncharted game is releasing in August. So there's a bunch of games coming out. Elite Dangerous, like, shout out to you guys for letting me know that releases in 2 weeks. There's a new PlayStation Go PS4 that comes out. I'm not going to buy it, but nevertheless, it's going to be $250. So there's plenty for that people in that ecosystem only to do. So like I said, my brother will finally get my Xbox One back to me next week when he comes back from vacation. So I'll be playing the Forza game. So I'm going to go ahead and get that and get the Hot Wheels DLC. And so anybody who wants to play on Xbox, who has an Xbox that's in the chat or something like that, just hit me up, Situated Spoon 26, and I'll go to Windows and see if anybody's done that later this weekend. But I've been playing Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth on laptop, and that's fun. So that's fun. So Andrew Wilkins says that bottlenecking is because they aren't using DirectX 12 right now. Yeah, I mean, maybe that gig they did. I mean, I'm not for sure what that's going to do and how that helps. So I don't know how that helps the CPU. Like I said, I know they got kicked in the gut by Bungie that said it's going to be 30 on all consoles. But remember, they would always say we can't talk about Scorpio. So I don't know if that's because Scorpio still had stuff that they could do to it. Just have to wait and see. It's not that big a deal. So So let's see what you say here, Savage. That may be why I announced 9 gig for. That's fine. I mean, at some point, I mean, this is my opinion, but at some point, they're going to have to either say all our games are going to be 4K 60, or some are going to be or maybe they're able to jailbreak it and get Forza Horizon 3, which is 4K 30, up to 4K 60. I mean, again, I played Forza already, and I don't have a problem with it being 30, but who knows? I mean, Sony is going to have a lot of VR stuff. So I know GT Sport may have VR support. I don't know how much different that's going to be from Drive Club, but nevertheless, it'll be there. But that's the main thing. So yeah, that is the main thing. Yeah, Obadiah John, I agree. Sony's going to counter with games. Yeah, that's the thing. They're going to counter with games. And again, EA Play is Saturday. So they're going to be doing a Star Wars Battlefront. They're going to do like either 20 on 20 or 40 on 40. And I assume that game is going to be on the Pro, but I asked during the podcast last night, and nobody was 1,000% sure. So, oh yeah, I know it's a theory, Savage. Yeah, you're cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So, so it's it's not that big a deal. 4K 60, man. Scalebound, hopefully they resurrect that title. I mean, the problem that wasn't them canceling Scalebound, that sucked. But when Phil Spencer did the CYA of, oh, well, it's good that we canceled it, that was bullshit. And that's he went into damage control after that. And it's just, he can claim that he doesn't like the whole fanboy stuff, but he adds to it. So I'm glad that they're coming out with a console, because once it gets outsold overall, what are they going to say? Because they're to a point now where they're claiming that games like Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that aren't selling good because they've only sold 3.2 million copies, and there's 60 million people on the PlayStation. That's what they're claiming. And that's what I'm trying to say to people. Don't go to that crumb side stuff. So it is what it is. So what is my favorite game of all time? I like the Mass Effect series. I like I like the, oh man, I want to say Uncharted. It's not Uncharted. It's The Last of Us. Those are my favorite games of all time. So so yeah, Mass Effect. We had a 10-year run with that series. You got to remember that. So yeah, I believe both will have both systems will have games. They'll both have great games. So I'm excited about it, and everybody should be. If you are a gamer, you should be excited about E3. Hell, I'm even excited about the PC press conference, because I'm trying to build a PC, so I'm gonna have to watch the PC press conference. So yeah, Savage. I mean, I didn't like that either, and that I think Phil Spencer will say one thing, and what you got to understand about the human nature is their first reaction is what they truly think. So when Phil Spencer said things like, games like Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn, said they were great games, but those games, that model isn't going to sustain. The Xbox community takes what he is saying and they take it as everything, and they try to apply that blank slate that Phil Spencer says to all the other gamers. You see what I'm saying? That's why they were just on here this week still talking about backwards compatibility and how Sony is ripping people off because they don't have backwards compatibility, and that's anti-consumer. And it's like, if they want to play those games, they will go buy a PlayStation 3. They don't need to. Why buy a PlayStation 4 to play PlayStation 3 games? I mean, it's been dealt with a million times. They've sold 60 million plus consoles without backwards compatibility. They don't need it. Obviously, if it was a big deal, people would still be on the Xbox system. But it's just not that big a deal. People buy new consoles for new experiences. It's just the experiences that Microsoft provided were garbage, trash. People didn't support them. So, and we can't blame Sony. We can't blame the media. You got to blame Microsoft. So, it's Yeah, the PC press conference. I'm gonna try to stay awake. So because I gotta figure out one more thing. I need to figure out a CPU for my system, and if they're coming out with new CPUs, I need to find a complementary CPU to the R9256. So this is something that's going to complement it. You know, nothing that's going to overpower. I don't know if I need 2.7 or 2.9. I'm not for sure. I don't know what the differences are. So, you know, I need some general direction on that. So, and yeah, like I said about the one guy that was teasing me over in Europe about the Xbox Scorpio. Look, I will buy one I'll get one when he buys it for me. And that goes for anybody in the Xbox community. I don't have a reason to get rid of my Xbox One S to play games, multi-plat games. So that's just my opinion. So that's just me though, as a consumer, especially when I'm trying to build a PC. So that's going to play all their games anyway, open frame. So, yeah, look, I've played Overwatch. I thought it was fun to play. This is Chris Jones. I agree. I played Overwatch, but there's nothing that stands out about Overwatch. It's, again, I explained my past, my history of gaming, and they're not doing nothing on Overwatch that I didn't do already on Rainbow Six or Ghost Recon back in the early to mid 90s. There's just nothing there new for me, but I understand if you grew up and your first console was a Xbox, the OG Xbox, which I consider one of the best consoles ever made, and you were playing online, that's your first exposure, you thought that was the cat's meow, so, but to me, it was just kind of like, well, I've already been doing this. So, but yeah, it's, I'm not 100% sure what to go ahead and buy, but I think the press conferences, again, they start Saturday. EA is going Saturday with EA Play, so you should see Madden. You should see if they got any new IP coming out. That's the EA Play. That's what it is. So don't get confused. We're 48 hours away. So Ryzen, the price would be, yeah, I don't have $1,500 or $1,600 laying around. So I just need a CPU that complements it, but doesn't, I don't want to invest. I've seen some CPUs for anywhere for $180. So look, I'm looking between 180 and 250 is where I want to be. So yeah, and again, I'm trying to build a poor man's PC for 4K. So shout out to Kratos because he's donating. The 15 or 1600 is the serial. Okay, so I got that. See, I got confused on that. So they're about 200. Okay, yeah, okay. But shout out to Kratos, the god of PlayStation. He's donating a monitor as well. So that's that. So my main concern now is the power source and CPU. But Rome wasn't built in a day. I should get my tower here in the next 2 to 3 days. So hopefully it doesn't come and I'm at work. So it's supposed to come like on the 13th or 14th. So I think I got to work. So but yeah, what are you all's predictions for E3? You're 48 hours out, and like I said, I will. My next podcast won't be until Sunday. What's going on, gaming media? So, yeah, like I said, my favorite games last gen was the Mass Effect series. This gen has been The Last of Us, followed very closely by that Tomb Raider, the Rise of the Tomb Raider, the Pro build. That was a really good, fun game. Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, those are, I can't complain. I mean, the game I'm looking most forward to, Detroit Become Human, if it's there. Oh, also Death Stranding. Kojima has said that game will not be there. So, okay, if you're looking for that game, ain't gonna see it. I don't think we see that game to Tokyo Gaming Show. So, that's just my opinion. Where we see Death Stranding. So, and I don't know if you've played Witcher 3. Let me give a shout out to Yang Yi on this one because he caught something that I had caught when if you play The Witcher 3 and you talk to Siri about where she has been, Siri will say something. I'm paraphrasing her. Siri said that she was able to, use portals to go between time, or not time, to go to different things. And one of the places, she told Garrett of Riviera, hey, look, one of the places that she was at, the people had metal heads, they had flying cars or flying vehicles, and they waged war from a distance. So that sounds like the world of cyberpunk. So that's what it sounds like. So Project Dylan. Yeah, see, I don't have a ton of faith in Project Dylan because that's BioWare, and after what happened with Mass Effect, and I know what people are saying, that was the B team. They got this thing. They didn't give them a ton of money, so forth and so on. And so we got pretty much a stripped down version of it. And BioWare's main office at this point is working on the updates and things like that. And look, at least they're still supporting the game. They got another patch coming out that's going to allow for, like I said before, more romances with Male Rider, and also more facial things at your character creator screen. So yeah, I like a sequel to The Order as well. I thought it was a good game, but it did underperform. Let's just keep it real. So on the other hand, Until Dawn came out, I think, the same year. It overperformed. So that's all good news. That's all good. But yeah, the patches out already. All right, well, there you go. So I haven't played it in a while, and all that would do, if I can have a different character now, or different looking character, I would have to go back and redo it. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to play Mass Effect again till August, because hopefully all their patches are done. So so in August I will revisit Mass Effect. So, which is fine. I'm not complaining about it. I liked Andromeda. I was disappointed with Andromeda. And again, the people that covered Mass Effect extensively had their channels based on Mass Effect Andromeda. Their channels are almost gone. I mean, you're looking at months. You're looking at like 1 month, 6 weeks between podcasts with them. They're just as much in shock as everybody else was. So, and I'm talking about some big ones, people that got over 50,000 subs and 30,000 subs, things like that. They're in shock as well. So, on how bad Mass Effect did. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I think I think Microsoft will announce some deal with I was gonna say a deal. They're gonna announce a deal with Sega because they're building a Dreamcast emulator, and it is what it is. So you can change your rider appearance and templates now. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's my point though. I would want to start over just to kind of see different things. What was disappointing about me, because I always have my character will be a male, and he'll always have that little I like the beard look. I like the beard look and or the goatee look. And Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, that beard, that looked natural on that guy. Now, granted, it didn't grow or anything, but the beard on this guy, it looks like somebody literally just drew it. Like you were just sitting there with a crayon and drew it. This didn't look good. So I went 1970s on my Mass Effect character, folks. So and he has an afro and stuff like that. You can check out the gameplay. So, but it is what it is. The game looked great. It had great combat. Story was garbage. So straight garbage. But yeah, but that's my information today, guys. Like I said, Wipeout is 4K native. What's up, J-Dub? Yeah, Wipeout 4K native, $40, confirmed by Digital Foundry and Eurogamer. And the big deal about that, besides the price, is it has a 4K checkerboard and it has a 4K native mode. So, well, yeah, but that's my point. You see, Obi-John, the fanboys and that shit, that's what gets stuff started. Bayonetta, hell, wasn't that a Nintendo game? So the emulator, yeah, I think, I don't know about a remaster, but they may be able to play Shenmue 1 and 2. So Again, they're really trying to. That's why Phil Spencer went to Japan. Remember, he flew when all that shit happened with Horizon Zero Dawn, and the fanboys were emailing Phil Spencer, and they were having their meltdown in February. Phil Spencer went to Japan, and then all of a sudden, 90 days later, Sega announces they got $500 million. Now, what they do? Find that under a rock? No, they've got a partnership with Microsoft, and also Savage. It cures the whole JRPG thing because they don't really have them except for like Final Fantasy or something like that. This cures that automatically. So, which again is not a bad thing. I want people to really understand what I'm saying. It cures that. It gives their library, the people who are wanting to invest in that ecosystem, it broadens what they can buy. Now, they're still not going to be able to get games like Neo and they're the really big games, but Shenmue 1 and 2, I never played a Shenmue game, but apparently it was a huge deal. I mean, a huge deal. And Shenmue 3, I don't know if that's still owned by Sega. I know it's crowdfunded, and it won't be ready until like next. I want to say they'll unveil a release date at next E3. So I think next E3 is when you'll get a Shenmue announcement and a Final Fantasy VII announcement too. I think they're gonna have Sony's gonna have a lot of JRPG stuff on the floor because they think JRPGs they're selling pretty well in the West now and in Europe. So Persona 5, my goodness gracious, that game is phenomenal. I can attest to that. So the Nier Automata sold very well. Neo sold very well. So we have to wait and see. Gravity Rush sold well. So for Gravity Rush, I mean, it's Gravity Rush 2 sold more than Gravity Rush 1. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, I know nothing. Yeah, Bayonetta 3. That's fine. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be an exclusive or not. I know Ninja Gaiden, they're talking about that. So Sony paid to have. Yeah, now I think what they did was when the crowdfunding got to a certain point, Shenmue 3. So if they can play Shenmue 1 and 2 and you can't play Shenmue 3, I go, what the hell's the point? Not unless the guy comes out and says Shenmue 3 is a totally separate thing, which is possible. So yeah, delayed. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, delayed to I think 2018 E3 is when you'll get an announcement, and or you will get an announcement at the end of this year at Tokyo Gaming Show. Is when they make their announcement on a release date for Shenmue 3. A lot of the JRPGs are not. They announced that shit at Tokyo Gaming Show. So Shenmue 3 is I believe it is a full exclusive. If Sony is going to pay for it, then it's going to be an exclusive to Sony. Yeah, they're not going to say, although they can make more money if it does go to another console too. So it is what it is. So, but so I personally think all three press conferences will be good. I will miss the Nintendo one because I do have to work Wednesday. I think their press conference is Wednesday. Maybe I can't remember now. The Sony one though, and the Microsoft one, I will be able to watch. So, so we'll have to wait and see. Shout out Porter Rock. He may have a reaction thing to what Microsoft does, and I don't know about the gamer couch yet because it's today's Thursday, and there's still a lot of England is voting today, so that's the other big story today. Besides somebody named James Comey testifying, that was all over the news. So, but that's the other big story for the world. As far as E3, I personally hope I hope they do a Shenmue 1 and 2 remaster. Now, understand that's fine, Savage, but if Microsoft has got a partnership with Sega, the remasters will only be available on the Xbox systems. Now, whether they're Xbox One, Xbox One S, or Scorpio, so we're going to have to see. But I agree with the stuff that was said on shout out to 60 Frames No Lag, Porter Rock's podcast. We had a real good E3 one over there on what we think is going to happen. And so I want Siphon Filter to come back out to be remastered. If you just want to remaster 1, 2, and 3, that's fine. I prefer a Siphon Filter 4, so so yeah, it's yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, again, Shimu, give me Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger. Those, I think all those were Sega games. So in theory, all those games could be on the Xbox, if they're going to have an emulator. So all those games in theory could be on Xbox. So, and I'm not, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't have I think the more the merrier. Like I said earlier about the crumb size stuff, the whole backwards compatibility. If they act like that's a big deal, I've always said, to me, it's not a selling point. With that said, the reason I got my Xbox One S was because Mass Effect was backwards compatible, but the Xbox One S has the upscaling technology on it, and my TV's upscaling, so it's a better looking picture. And yeah, and I remember the frame rates are much better with Mass Effect. The frame rates on Mass Effect were horrible. I remember sometimes it dropped down to 8 or 9 on Mass Effect. But I love the game so much. Again, you forgive it because it's a console game. So, but yeah, does anybody have any questions or any predictions for E3? Or has anybody gone out and seen that Wonder Woman? So Nintendo only being 30 minutes. Well, they could walk out there and drop a Donkey Kong game and walk off the stage, and that'd be fine for me. But I think a Pokemon game will be announced. I think a Metroid game will be announced, maybe 2 of them. So that'd be cool. And the people who have the Switch, maybe something with the battery, maybe they can get more battery life out of it or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Yeah, but it's trying to stay away from the crumb side stuff, guys. To me, if Sony can do 4K native games, whether they be 30 or 60 with 4.2 T flops, isn't it expected that Microsoft could do the same thing with more power? So yeah, Nintendo's fine. Nintendo's company is fine. Like I said, the Switch is selling like hotcakes, so we have to wait and see. So hit you up on Twitter, Andrew. Is that for me or is that for somebody else? And what should I have set up? My PC, you mean? So yeah, if it's my PC, that'll be, like I said, I'm piecing that together. So it's cool. It's coming along though. I want everybody to know it's coming along. So. So it is what it is. I'll be putting the order in for the motherboard this weekend, and it's the man. I just had it in my head, but it's an 8. I forgot what it is, but I think I've read it off to everybody. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. So it is what it is. So, but again, Scorpio, they've 9 gigs of RAM now. Again, I don't know how that affects what people are doing. The reason why they're doing the Feel True Power ad has a lot of hidden stuff on it. If you can blow it up, the concert scene has a date on it. A lot of people don't know that. There's something that takes you to a website that says, build this robot for under $400. So that could be a price thing. There's also a tent scene where it says 6 with a great, I don't know, it's like a 6 greater sign than 4.2. They're obviously taking digs at Sony. So we'll have to wait and see what it is they actually do. So, so we'll have to wait and see. And then let's just see. I think a drop the mic moment for Sony could be if they march for a troll moment is to march Cliffy B out on stage. I think they will. I think some of the stuff that Microsoft has done this week with their marketing is really upset Sony. I think they're going to try to get Cliffy B to walk out on stage to announce that Lawbreakers will be an exclusive to Sony for the foreseeable future. So yeah, Nintendo could come out with a Contra. Yeah, remember that 30? I wonder if a lot of people remember that 30-man code. Did everybody? Because I could not beat that game, and I had to use the code. That's why I tell people people be cheating. So okay, so the leak would be 3/17. Yeah, and remember, I said it would be I said mid-October. See, I think they got to get it out before Halloween, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, people remember the code. Yeah, everybody remembers that code because that was the first cheat code I ever used in my life. So I remember that cheat code. I remember the cheat code for the Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. Yeah, and the Mortal Kombat game, that's the first console war game. And if people don't know that, remember, guys, got to try to know your history. Remember, the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat looked just like the game, but it had no blood. But the Sega version looked worse, but it had more content. That's why people have already, you either prefer the graphics or you prefer the content. I've always preferred content, but that's me. So that is me. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can give you that. Yeah, I can. You want me just to direct message you, Andrew? Is that what you're wanting to do? Just let me know. So, yeah, just let me know. So I can DM you on that one. I may have a PayPal set up now. I tried to set one up, so I'll check though. I will check. So, yeah, Born to Tease, no blood on the Nintendo one. Yeah. And how many of you all have looked at the Hellblade trailer and plan on buying it? That's only like $29.99. So, because I'm thinking about buying that. Hell, that's an August game. So, it was in Wreck-It Ralph. You're right. Yeah, good point. Yeah, back when Konami was making good games, So, and Konami gave us a lot of good. I think Konami, didn't they do Metal Gear? So Konami's made a lot of good games. So, and Sony in theory could announce like a Metal Gear remaster trilogy or something like that. So, silver for the UK. There you go. See, there you go. Now you got, yeah. How many of y'all are looking to get Hellblade though? So, and it looks pretty bad. That is an indie game, and that is an indie game. They got a AAA budget, but that's an independent studio. They're trying to make it their version of Witcher. So you're getting Hellblade Savage, yeah. So Savage be getting everything, So yeah, I'm definitely looking into it. My problem with it is that it comes out a week and a half before the Uncharted series, Uncharted Legacy. And Uncharted Legacy, I am buying that. That game comes out on my birthday, and I am buying that. So it is. So yeah, Chris is getting it day one, August 8th. So there you go. Yeah, see, I won't get mine. If I do. If I do, I will not get the Uncharted game. But I always get in August, I always buy Madden as well. So that I can buy 2 games in August because I'm not going to buy Destiny, unless I take that back. If a lot of people on my on here get Destiny, just hit me up and I will go out and purchase it and play it. Like a friend of mine said, I got to start playing games online. I just, but I'll go ahead and do it. So, I can go ahead and do it, I guess, on my console. So yeah, but I'll go ahead and make the Nestea plunge, as we used to say back in the 70s when we were kids. Getting your daughter to go PS4. Well, yeah, there you go. It'll be on sale. Shit, it goes on sale tonight. You can go to Walmart tonight and get that, Obi John, if you want it. If you got the cheddar, you can get it tonight. 1201 Walmart, baby. Or Meijer. I know they got them in Meijer. At least here in Lexington, Kentucky, they do. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm excited about that. So, hopefully Microsoft really did a good thing, I think, having a press conference away from everybody else before Sony came in and did that Nintendo wipe, then the wipe on like Men in Black. With that little pen they use. So, yeah, I think Hellblade is digital. Yeah, and it's going to have to be something I wait on then. So, I'll get the Uncharted game. That's fine. So, all right, Andrew. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So Target got them this as well. See, the Target here, Chris, you're right. But Target, I don't think is open 24/7 here. in Lexington. So I could be wrong though, but I know they got them in stock at Walmart. They got them last week. So yeah. Yeah, again, 60, yeah, I understand why people want 60, but is it a deal breaker? That's what I was asking about a week ago. Is 60 versus 30 a deal breaker for some people? And again, look, at the Scorpio is going to be $399 because that's in that little thing too. If it's going to be $399, and then you can trade in your Xbox One S, and let's just say they give you, I don't know, $115 for it. You can actually walk out of there at under $270. That's a pretty damn good deal. I will not blame a soul for doing that. So I can't blame a soul for doing that. Like I said, I will trade my Xbox One S in if somebody wants to send me the difference if it's $399. So, but I do not want to hear the Xbox community claiming I bash Xbox. Here's your chance to get me their latest, greatest system. Or I take that back. Help me get it. So don't tell me I'm not trying to support the brand. I just don't want to take money out of my PC bill's pocket. So that's all I'm doing. So, 60 million, 30 million, yeah. Yeah, that's true power right there. To me, that is true power. So yeah, the developers of Hellblade taught the people who suffer from it to reenact that. Oh shit. Well, damn. Yeah, well, it very well may. Yeah, you know, I don't know why Bungie couldn't say they said it's gonna run on all consoles, but we can't tell you about the Scorpio. That's suspect to me. So that's just me, though. I mean, it may not be that big a deal. So, but again, if people who are concerned with checkerboarding versus 4K native, please go buy Wipeout and just look at it for yourself. You know, if you got a 4K TV, you can look at it for yourself. I'm telling you the truth is that 4K native, anything native will be sharper. Because your pixels are plugging into that 4 quad and it is all native versus a clone pixel from a checkerboarded thing. So yeah, Obi-John make a good point. You played Destiny at 30 FPS and nobody complained. So I'm not here to, but again, everybody's different. Nobody, maybe not you, but meaning the people who were supporting the game. So you know. I don't know why that. So I don't know why it is. For some people, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So, but all right, folks, that is about it. I'm gonna probably bounce out of here unless anybody's got any more E3 predictions for me, because this is it. I'm working tomorrow and Friday. So speak now or forever hold your peace, because I will not. You know, anything that comes out after this podcast, I will not be breaking on it. So. Yeah, I will not be breaking on it. So, I wonder if my chat's still on. But all right, then, guys, that's it. Again, just enjoy E3. Try not to get caught up in that crumb side stuff. And yeah, my screen was in a buffer mode. I couldn't tell if it was still on. But yeah, again, anybody, any predictions? Any other predictions for Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft? So, yeah, Andrew, I'll definitely send that to you. I need to double check to see if I did that. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Thanks for subbing to all the old subs and new sub. Check me out I'll be on Twitter sometimes. I do. So if you want to see Twitter, to see people getting trolled on Twitter, my God, it is something else. So, well, yeah, and I tell you why I think that's true, Obi-John, is that the Xbox